Today, we are gonna go over land destruction, over Magic the Gathering history. Roughly, we might have to go back and forth a little bit here. I'm gonna depend on you guys keeping the story straight here. So let's start with, in the beginning, there was Armageddon, and it was good. A white and 3 generic. All lands in play are destroyed. Do you hear that, Commander players? How do you feel? Does that scare you? Does this whole topic of a video this morning scare you? Ooh, land destruction. Your lands are gonna get blown up. Let me know if you're a Commander player. Let me know how scared or confident you are in the description below. So, yeah, this was the original big baddie. White and 3 generic, all lands in play are destroyed. I actually saw play a long time ago. I think White Weenie was one of the first decks that this thing actually saw play. Good old Savannah Lions. Get out in front with all those little weenies and then, you know, basically blow up the canyon behind you. All lands in play are destroyed, and then the few little things that are in play would go on for victory. But it wasn't the only land destruction in the beginning. I mean, we're talking alpha and beta here. There was also Sinkhole. Man, they went aggro on land destruction. This is something you don't see Black do very much anymore. They gave Black a little bit of the destroy target land thing, and they still give a little bit to it, but not in a really big way. Yeah, sorry we destroyed your village. Here's some gold. Chris hates Ponza unless I'm the one using the strat. Of course, everyone's like that. So you see, back then, if I may be misquoting Richard Garfield, but he was like, this game is about resources, and one of the main strategies is about attacking the resources. So of course, one of your main resources are lands, and so one of the main strategies that you could attack your opponent is just blow up their lands. How fun is that? Oh yeah. Game design back then. It makes you wonder how the game even survived this bad game design back then. Yeah, Sinkhole, black, destroy target land. But it wasn't the only one. Now, one that actually still sees play, sort of. Stone Rain. And I should only say sort of, like if we go to all prints, it was one of the OGs. There it is. Red 2 generic, destroy any one land. It actually saw play in Modern just a few years ago, only because Pillage didn't exist. And actually now no one plays this card, no one cares anymore. The format is just way too mana efficient. Beanpot's like, finally a Ponza stream! Finally! I found my people! Good morning, everyone. Nothing wrong with a little land destruction. Well, you know what? That's how it is these days. That's how it is still even today. Okay, I might be skipping over some, so if I am, you just let me know. But I believe by Antiquities is when we finally got Strip Mine. And here we might have a little bit of a fork in a road. Here, I'll get the original Strip Mine. I want the OG. Tap to add 1 colorless mana to your mana pool. Or get this. Hear me out. Or place Strip Mine in your graveyard and destroy 1 land of your choice. Unlike previous conflicts, the war between Urza and Mishra made Dominia itself a casualty of war. It's crazy to think that they even made this card. It's like, you know what? Stone Rain is fine. Sinkhole, that was totally fine. Sinkhole, there's nothing wrong with Sinkhole at 2 mana. But I don't know, maybe it didn't even see play. But as a result of I actually don't know if Sinkhole saw play or not, you know, back then with all the Moxen and the Black Lotuses. But, so I guess they put 0 mana, destroy target land. Does this at least see play in Commander? Like, I have it in my Commander deck, but I mean, my Commander deck isn't super competitive. Because now that I think of it, like, who cares about my opponent's lands? They're probably almost completely irrelevant. With that amount of treasure production nowadays, maybe land destruction can be revisited. Strip Mine is popular in Commander. Alright, it is the land destruction of all land destruction. 0 mana. Boom! Gone! Okay, but so now we're going to have a little bit of fork in the road. Because Strip Mine was clearly the dumbest land destruction design of all time. They put it on a land, but Wizards of the Coast, since Strip Mine, has been fascinated about land destruction on top of lands and tried to fix the damn thing. They tried to fix it. So now we're going to go look at all the lands that they tried to fix. So Strip Mine eventually went down to Wasteland, which to a large degree, I wish by default it showed me the original cards. But this is one of the stock cards in Legacy. Maybe arguably holding Legacy together to prevent Cloud Post decks from getting out of control. Primeval Titan decks getting out of control. Definitely, as it stands, keeps Dark Depths decks from getting out of control. Rebecca says, I just had a land blown up last night. Exactly. Alkanic loves this card. If you like land destruction, then you hate freedom. Strip Mine is... Okay, yeah, Strip Mine is popular in Commander. The Amazing Wally says, I've always wanted to try out Ponza. It always seemed like a screwy all-or-nothing strategy. Well, depending what you're up against. If you're up against a deck that depends on their lands, yeah, you'll just wipe them across the board. But if they're really mana efficient, and they only need 1 or 2 lands, like a Delver deck, for example... Like, they're barely operating on any land, so it may not be as important against them. Should take it back. They also, depends on how many lands are in their deck. You could, if you just blow up enough lands from the Delver deck, then they'll just stop operating. So, Pauper Land Destruction? Does Pauper Land Destruction exist? I imagine it could. I think Stone Rain is a common. Robert Lava says, I play Legacy lands, and it's a 3-of with 3 Ghost Quarters. Whoa! Arceus says, I love land destruction. Print more. So Wasteland ended up being really, really, really good. Maybe a bit too good. Maybe a bit too good. It still destroys lands, only non-basic. So the difference between Wasteland and Strip Mine is that you could strategically play basic lands and still play around the card instead of like this one card destroying anything like Strip Mine. Wasteland could only selectively attack greedy mana bases. Pauper Land Destruction is a deck. Oh my god. Pawns in every format. Every format. Okay, what is the evolution of Wasteland? So, if I understand correctly, the next Wasteland is something like Dust Bowl, where they're like, okay, Wasteland is maybe 1-for-1 land, a little too good, maybe. Maybe that's the case. We saw a really good play in Extended. So they made Dust Bowl, which is tap, add 1 colorless mana to your mana pool, pay 3, tap, sacrifice a land, destroy target non-basic land. So it's a way clunkier Wasteland, but it's also reusable over and over and over and over again. You could do this for eternity. Now, in the same era as Masks block, they actually made Rishadan Port, sort of a soft land destruction, where you can only tap the land until end of turn. Maybe not exactly the same thing, but still in that reign of trying to siphon your opponent's mana from being, usable. You can tap at it for a mana or pay 1, tap target land, and actually saw a lot of play in Standard at the time. And I don't remember if Extended saw any more play, if it's any play in Extended. Okay, what is the next land that they try to fix? I think next is Ghost Quarter. Right now I want to look at all the land destruction lands. I think next was Ghost Quarter. Hey, look, I'm not a proper historian here. Where you sacrifice Ghost Quarter, destroy target land, its controller may search their library for a basic land card, put onto the battlefield, then shuffle their library. Okay, they balanced it out. This is probably the most balanced version of Wasteland that they've possibly have made. You destroy their land, it can be anything, but they have the option to dig through their deck for a basic land, put it into play untapped. Oh, is Tectonic Edge first? Okay, we'll go to that one next. That's totally fine. That's totally fair. So you search their library for a basic land, put it onto play tapped, and okay. So even if you destroy a tapped land, they're gonna get a mana benefit. So this, I think, was maybe almost a little too balanced. It's just good enough to play, but it can be a downside to the person using it. And to some extent, I guess we've come to a point in Magic the Gathering that we have to fight other lands with lands. There's so many utility lands out there. We need something to be able to attack the creature lands or any sort of land that will be utilized against you. Now there was, if we go back in time, Tectonic Edge. I use this card. I really like this one. This unfortunately had the downside. Well, you can tap, add a mana with it, or you pay 1 tap, sacrifice Tectonic Edge, destroy target non-basic land. Activate this ability only if an opponent controls 4 or more lands. I love this card. I use this myself in Modern, and it wasn't the most beautiful card versus Tron, but still, if they got to 4 mana and you utilize this, you would definitely you'd know which Tron land was sensitive, and you take their Tron mana down to 3 lands. From 10 to 3, how does that feel, Tron players? It doesn't feel good, now does it? Is Port safe for Modern? Great question. I think yes. I thought they were going to reprint it into Modern. I think that this card, it has a home in Legacy, I think, still, in the Death and Taxes decks, but I think it would have a great home in Modern. Is it worth mentioning Flagstones of Trochaire as a response to all this? Nah. Yeah, Flagstones of Trochaire was... No, I don't... Like, Flagstones I don't think was a way of... Here, looks Flagstones of Trochaire. Maybe? But it's a legendary land. It's a weird land. It's a time spiral land. So it's when it's put into the graveyard from the battlefield, you may search your library for a plains card, put it onto the battlefield, tap, then shuffle your library. I don't think Ponza was that popular. That you had to, like, protect your lands with Flagstone. Maybe! I wasn't around when Flagstones was first printed. Why is it called Tron? You guys gotta let us all know in the comments section below. Tell Balder, because I can't remember. Have 2 of these. You can respond to one another with Tectonic... Oh, yes. Okay, so with Tectonic Edge, all that's important when you activate it is that they have 4 lands. So you could have 2 Tectonic Edges on the battlefield. Sack 1 to destroy a land. Hold priority! Hold up! I'm not releasing priority. I still have things to do. You tap and sacrifice the other Tectonic Edge to blow up another land. And so both of them now are on the stack. Because if you do it 1 at a time, if they have 4 lands, sack Tectonic Edge, they go down to 3 lands. Oh, you activate the second Tectonic Edge, so you can activate them in response to each other while the opponent has 4 lands in play and blow up 2 lands at once. Ooh, tricky line. Very nice line, though. Very nice, very nice. People would love to see Richard import in Modern. Love me some Lone Pox Wasteland recursion. Does that even does that still happen? So going back to, like, Wasteland, what is it? You're talking about Life from the Loam? Return up to 3 target land cards from your graveyard to your hand. I'm sure that's a strategy in Legacy. Just keep bringing on those Wastelands over and over again until your opponent has no more lands at all. If Tectonic Edge didn't cost 1 mana to activate, I'd love it. Hey, what do you want? You want an actual I mean, hey, maybe that's going to be the next evolution to lands blowing up lands. I mean, we've gotten this far, so it's possible. One day, they'll make a Wasteland. At 4 mana, you just blow it up, and that's it. Tectonic Edge trick was nice against decks who ran Pacts. Oh, yes. That's true, too. You want to play your Summoner's Pact? Well, you don't have any more lands to pay for it. Ha 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 ha. Wasteland is especially good in Muldrotha. The hell is this? During each of your turns, you may play a land and cast a permanent spell of each permanent type from your graveyard. Ho ho ho! Is it really that good in Commander though? Blowing up your opponent's lands? I mean, this is the world of artifact mana and mana rocks galore. And you can only hit one person at a time. During each of your turns, you may play a land and cast a spell from of each permanent type from your graveyard. Crazy. What a crazy world. All right, they didn't stop at Ghost Quarter. Where were we at? We were at Ghost Quarter. What did I do? Ghost Quarter. Okay, they didn't stop at Ghost Quarter. I think the next evolution was... what's it called? This is not jogging my memory. Field of Ruin. Field of Ruin was the next evolution, which I think they got right. Encroaching Wastes. Did that come first? Magic 2014? I guess that was one. That didn't see any play, though. Okay, yeah, this is a good one, though. Encroaching Wastes. And before we talk about how bad Encroaching Wastes is, we gotta thank our sponsors, starting with FusionGamingOnline.com, my one-stop shop to get all my Magic cards, singles. I'm building the Pauper deck. And don't forget, Deal of the Week this week, save 15% off all Modern Master singles. So if you're building a Modern deck or a Commander deck, you're going to want these juicy cards. Things like Mox Opal, Chalice of the Void, the Fetch Lands, Cavern of Souls. They've got it all at FusionGamingOnline.com. 15% off this week. Don't forget to use coupon code Nikachu, though, at checkout for an additional 5% off all your orders, and it also supports the channel. We're also going to thank Mana Traders, the premier place for renting Magic cards online. Your ability to play any deck, any format, anytime you want. They also have monthly free rolls, and if you are a Mana Traders member, you get, I can't remember what it is, 10x the amount of prizes. So you can support the channel by using my Mana Traders link in the description below, or save 10% off your first 2 months using coupon code Nikachu_B2Q. And back to the janky cards. Oops. Yep, we're back. We're good. We're good. Okay, Encroaching Wastes. The problem with Encroaching Wastes is this thing's too expensive. This is probably not where they want it to be. You know what? This is just worse than Tectonic Edge. This is way worse than Tectonic Edge. It's not even close. Did this come before Tectonic Edge? I don't think so. I think this thing came way after. Nikachu, should I run a Field of Ruin in my Lantern Control deck? I'm split 50-50 on it. Do Lantern Control decks play Field of Ruin? If the answer is no, then the answer is no. This is just like, it's only, oh, it's destroy target basic, non-basic land, but it doesn't depend on your opponents having 4 mana. That's the difference. With Tectonic Edge, your opponents needed to have 4 lands in play for you to activate it. With Encroaching Waste, you don't have to. But it's pretty bad by itself. I would say it's a 3 to activate would be fair. Maybe. I don't know. It's still clunky. It's pretty clunky to have so many in your in hand. But or sorry, not in play. Like, because you can only, well, whatever. It sucks up your entire turn. I guess it's fair though. If you're just gonna absolutely just destroy a basic land with your lands, and you know, as we all know, lands are recurable with things like Life from the Loam and stuff. It could get out of control. So, Encroaching Waste. And then they came out with... So this thing, as far as I know, saw no play. Maybe in some standard, but overall, no play. Field of Ruin. This is where I think they perfected the land destruction, where you give your opponent a benefit, but you get the same benefit. So it's like Ghost Quarter, but both people get a land. So you can tap, add a colorless, and pay to tap, sacrifice Field of Ruin, destroy target non-basic land an opponent controls. Each player searches their library for a basic land, puts it onto the battlefield, then shuffles. Is land destruction not taboo in other formats? In Commander is what bird people call a D move. No, we don't care. Land destruction has been basically part of the game. And you know what? I mean, there are some cards. How do Commander players feel about Blood Moon? I mean, this is basically a land destruction card. I mean, yeah, you can play around it, but well, I would say a lot of people do not like this card, but they tolerate it. They tolerate this thing. Why are they only non-basics? So that you can play around it. It's always non-basic. Like Strip Mine. The problem with Strip Mine a long time ago is that it can hit any land, so you can't play around this card. Whereas when they made Wasteland, you could play around this card by just fetching out basic. You could fetch out basic lands. You could just play a deck with a bunch of basic lands. So there was some downside to the person who was trying to be greedy, the greedy land destruction person. Dust Bowl would make sense for modern. Wasteland would be too homogenized. Oh yeah, like if we have an encroaching wastes, all it is like Dust Bowl is encroaching waste, but like it's a way better one. So anyway, we Field of Ruin is that I think this is where they perfected land destruction in the form of lands destroying other lands. It F's me, but I can't get mad. Yeah, I know. We were born in the land destruction, molded by it. I never got to 5 land drops until I was a man. All lands being mountains would be ridiculous. We're gonna get to that. We're gonna get to the. We're actually gonna get close to. I think this is it. Is this the end of lands destroying other lands? I think this is it. This is where. This is the final. This is the final form. This is where we stand in 2022. That's right. Commander's Ponytown. They are afraid of their lands getting. I don't even know why they're even upset. They have Soul Ring and Mana Vault and Mana Rocks, and all that other stuff, and all the signets. What do you care about your lands getting destroyed? I love this. You were supposed to be the land, not destroy them. Come on, can we let's get a Kenobi meme. This may take too long to find. Supposed to be the land, not destroy them. Ah, whatever. Oh, Boseiju! Alright, we actually have one more. Boseiju. Lands destroying other lands. They're actually... This is the I wouldn't say this is the final form. This is specifically only for green. But yes, this is actually the most recent one. So, the Channel Land. And this... It can be played as a spell base... Ah, does this count? Whatever, we're gonna count it. Anything that... This is a land destruction stream. Land destruction tribute stream. Maybe that's what it should be called. So, you can play it as a land and add a green, which is great. But it also has the ability Channel, which means you can pay a green, 1 to generic, discard Boseiju who endures, destroy target artifact, enchantment, or non-basic land an opponent controls. That player may search their library for a land card with a basic land type and put it onto the battlefield, then shuffle. This ability costs 1 less to activate for each legendary creature you control. So this, and this sees play as it is right now. Oh, Millmaster with the super chat. Thank you so much. Memorial to War. Oh, this is an old, oh, this is somewhat recent, but like does not see real any play, and I don't think it was meant to. But this definitely is a card that, yeah, sure, we can have this on the list. We go back. Back in Dominaria, they tried to attach this is just like a significantly worse Encroaching Wastes. I guess it adds a red mana. But it comes into play tapped. Today's discussion. How to F-Tron the absolute hardest? Oh, Elise. Welcome. Bonjour! Don't test me on my French, please. Don't do it. No one will be happy to hear it. Are we specifically calling out lands that destroy other lands, or can we mention others to the OG? Oh, we're going right back. We started with Armageddon. Okay, now we've reached. We had a fork in the road where we started talking about Strip Mine, and they continuously add land destruction on lands. But now let's go back. Let's go back to, well, we talked about Armageddon at the beginning, but what's the next one? Okay, hold on. Armageddon. Go back to Armageddon. I don't care. Okay, so what was the next? I don't. There was mentioned Plow Under, but we are moving super far ahead. This is like Urza's Destiny stuff. This saw a lot of play at the time. We have Plow Under, green, 3 generic. Put 2 target lands on top of its owner's library. Was nasty. So this saw big play, and not only does it effectively destroy the lands, it also destroys your draw steps for the turn, because hands down, what's it called? It's like Memory Lapse, but for land destruction. Yeah, basically -2 draws. Okay, what do we got? Oh, Jokel Hops. That's a big one. Jokel Hops. Why doesn't this see more play in Commander? Or is that because that's a dick move as it was described earlier? Red, 4 generic. Destroy all artifacts, creatures, and lands. They can't be regenerated. I can't remember. What land destruction is banned in Commander? Some of it's banned, isn't it? Isn't like Obliterate banned or something? It's not that good. Okay, what else do we have? We have Flashfire. Oh yeah, we have all these things. Destroy all the planes. They had a thing back then where, you know, back then they created real hate cards. Like, I'm hating on this color big time. Red is going to absolutely bring the pain to white, and also they did to blue. They made Boil. A lot of cards with Boil. Well, there's 2 Boils. Okay, there's Boiling Seas, which is destroy all islands, but they also have just a regular Boil. So one is at sorcery speed, one is at instant speed. Why they needed to make 2 of them for blue against blue, I have no idea. Cerise, thank you so much for the super chat. Check out Mind Layer. It's got cool flavor, but not great. Mind Layer. We've got a red and 3 generic, 1/1, a dwarf from Odyssey, red 1 generic, put a mind counter on target land. When a land is with a mind counter, it becomes tapped, destroy it. Ooh, huge flavor. And when Mind Layer leaves play, remove all mind counters from all lands. When Mind Layer leaves play? Well, that doesn't make any sense. Why would him being killed would have anything to do with the mines that have been planted? Oh, Igor, thank you so much for the super chat. And Dylan, thank you so much. Wildfire's great. Oh, Cleansing Wildfire. That's right. We've got Cleansing Wildfire. The 1 red, 1 generic, which actually does still see play today. Destroy target land. Its controller may search its library for a basic land card, put onto the battlefield, tap, then shuffle their library. So you blow up their land, but the land that they go get has to come into play tapped, so no big benefit. And at the very least, while your opponent got a card out of it, which was the basic land, you also get a card out of it. Choke is better than Boil. Okay, we are definitely going to count cards like this. Choke is a very serious card. Islands don't untap during their controller's untap step. Nasty. Very, very, very nasty card. Okay, chat is lighting up now. I guess we can just throw caution to the wind and talk about any form of land destruction. It's going to be hard to make it chronologically important. Seize Claim. This came out in Onslaught, actually. This is the original Seize Claim. Enchanted Land is an island. I actually use this card, but I think a card that saw way more play was Spreading Seas when that came out in Zendikar. This thing, when it enters the battlefield, draw a card, and Enchanted Land is an island. So it was like land destruction. They always called it the blue stone rain, because you would always play it on a land, you know, like against a Jund deck or a Boros deck or something like that. A deck that didn't need the island, didn't want the island. So you turn their land to an island, effectively turning it into like a wasteland or a wastes, and you draw a card out of it, which made it very playable in more decks than just Merfolk. Merfolk played this card to enable Island Walk, but also saw a lot of play in control decks. Control decks love this thing. Balance. We can count balance absolutely. That's one of the OG cards. Each player chooses a number of lands he or she controls equal to the number of lands controlled by the player who controls the fewest, then sacrifices the rest. Players discard cards and sacrifice creatures the same way. So if you keep a low land count, you know, you use that artifact mana. Oh, this banned in Commander. They really don't like this card. They really don't like it. Restricted in Vintage. It's banned. Yeah, I guess it's banned in Legacy. Whatever. This is how it is. Yeah, Balance is one of the OG destroy all land cards because it only costs 2 mana. And limited resources. Resources. When limited resources comes into play, each player chooses 5 lands he or she controls and sacrifices the rest. As long as there are 10 or more lands in play, players cannot play lands. Oh, God! That is just a huge restriction on the ability to play lands. I can understand why that might be banned in Commander. Because, like, you know, it won't take long until in a multiplayer game where people just can't play lands at all. Just waiting for someone to get eliminated so someone else can start playing lands. Ruination. Destroy all non-basic lands. Back from Stronghold. One of the OG cards. You want to play with your tropical islands and your tundras and your strip mines and your wastelands? Well, all those things can get blown up. It should be important to note that Red was a huge Ponza deck back in the day with, like, Avalanche Riders. This was a pretty important Ponza card at the time. Francis C., thank you so much for the super chat. Ulamog, Ceaseless Hunger, or Eldrazi Annihilator? Okay, we'll look at the Ceaseless Hunger. Avalanche Riders was a pretty staple card. I mean, basically, enter the battlefield, blow up your opponent's land, and get in there for 2 damage. And if you don't pay the Echo, who cares? Avalanche Riders comes into play. Destroy target land. Oh, it's destroy target land! I always thought this thing was non-basic land, so you could blow up mountains and basics. Okay, so if we go back into the future, Ulamog is like... I wouldn't call this land destruction, though. I mean, it is land destruction. But it's basically played to be a... Well, I will admit, this does seal the game after blowing up your opponent's lands. You cast Ulamog, exile 2 permanents. Usually the permanents are your lands, and then you have no chance of coming back. It's not even gonna happen. Dylan with the super chat. Thank you so much, Dylan. I meant Wildfire, the 6 Wildfire, the 6 mana sorcery. Oh! Each player sacrifices 4 lands. Wildfire deals 4 damage to each creature. Big card. I think it was the original set was from Urza Saga. This saw a lot of play at the time. I don't remember what decks played this. Maybe just the regular Ponza decks. Love the Riders. Hold on, is Avalanche Riders legal in Modern? It is Modern legal. You've been legal in Modern the entire time. Check that out. Look at that, everyone. This card is legal in Modern. Has been for a... Well, I don't know how long it's been legal in Modern. Maybe it just came because with this time shifted thing. What do we got here? We got, does aggressive mining count? No. You don't, because you're not blowing up other people's lands. You're just blowing up your own lands. You can't play land. Sacrifice a land, draw 2 cards. Activate this ability only once each turn. I remember what this was. This is one of those cards people had super high hopes for and did nothing. And it still does nothing. It's worth 30 cents today. Robert Lava, bend or break. Oh, by the way, thank you very much for the super chat. I appreciate it. Is this a card? Oh, it is. Red 3 generic. Each player separates all land cards he or she controls into 2 face-up piles. For each player, an opponent chooses a pile. Destroy all lands in that pile. Tap all lands in the other pile. You gotta be kidding me. Oh my god. Each player separates all land. This is creative. I started playing Magic around Invasion. I'd never heard of this one before. This is a hilarious card. Sowing Salts. A lot of people are mentioning all the land cards. But we already went over all of them. Sowing Salts. Red, 2 generic. Remove target non-basic land from the game. Search its controller's graveyard, hand, and library for all cards with the same name as that land and remove them from the game. That player then shuffles his or her library. That makes... hold on, but there's another one like this, isn't it? Or is this it? No, there's... remove target non-basic land. Search its library for all cards. Then there's... What's the other one? It's the same thing. It's like 4 mana and then start digging through their deck. Crumble to Dust. That's right. We might as well get this one while we're at it. Crumble to Dust. Exile target. Yeah, exile target non-basic land. Oh, is that the difference? One exiles? So I guess this is just the superior version because it has Devoid. Search its controller's graveyard, hand, and library for any number of the same card. Does that land exile them? And this is... Oh no, this is remove target... No, it's remove target non-basic land. It looks like it's the same thing. One's red, one's not. Ah, we got Lord Magicus! Hey, where's my sound? Thank you so much for the super chat. Nicobolus Planeswalker is the best land destruction because he pluses to blow up lands. Oh god. Nicobolus Planes... Hold on, just Nicobolus the Planeswalker. Which one? Which one blows up lands upon plus? You mean the other side of this? Which one pluses to blow up lands? Draw a card. Each opponent exiles a card. Destroy target destroy target non-creature permanent. Gotcha. Oh, it's literally called Nicobolus Planeswalker. I'm so stupid. You're so stupid sometimes. You're so stupid. Sometimes you guys give me the exact name and I still screw up. I still screw it up. Anyway, yeah, +1 destroy target non-creature permanent. We got David Howell. Thank you so much for the super chat. Tainted Ether, Burning Sands, only one. Tainted Ether. This is how far the $2 gets you. Black 2 generic. Whenever a creature comes into play, its controller sacrifices a creature or a land. Oh, that's nasty. If you don't have any lands, you gotta sack the creatures. Sorry, if you don't have any creatures, you gotta sacrifice the lands. Oh, you guys have so many good suggestions here. Did we look at Casualties of War yet? No, we didn't. Choose one or more. Destroy target artifact, destroy target creature, destroy target enchantment, destroy target land. What does that mean? Destroy. Oh, you could choose any one of these. Oh, someone mentioned acidic slime. Oh, that was such a good standard deck at the time with Restoration Angel. It looks like complete jank. This thing looks like absolute complete jank, but green 3 generic, we have a 2/2 Death Touch slime that destroys artifacts, enchantments, or lands, but you could blow up lands and then blink it with Restoration Angel. Imagine this being used. Imagine blinking this with like Ephemerate these days. It's just a matter of getting in play. Oh, welcome, son. Willie Hall. Appreciate that you're here. What else do we have? You guys have so... Oh! This is a weirdly spelled card. M1 Volley Acid Moss. This is a card that Definitely saw it. Saw some play. Yeah, absolutely. Green. Oh, it probably still sees play. It's a common, right? So it probably sees play in Pauper, Super Pauper card. Green, 2 generic. Destroy target land. Search your library for a force card and put that onto the battlefield tap. Then shuffle your library. So like most of these things, like Field Ruin, Ghost Quarter, Cleansing Wildfire, your opponents look for lands, but in this case, we go look for the land. What's fair about that? Destroy lands and then even ramp yourself. David Howell, thank you so much for the super chat. Thresher Beast, Burning Sands. There's the other $4. What is Thresher Beast? Whenever it becomes blocked, defending player sacrifices a land. I'd never even heard of this card. Burning Sands a card? Oh, we got for red 3 generic. Whenever a creature is put into a graveyard from play, that creature's controller sacrifices a land. Sick stuff. You guys know how to make your friends miserable. Does Back to Basics count? Absolutely it counts. I'm going to count it because I'm a blue player. You better believe I love Back to Basics. Non-basic lands don't untap during their controller's untap steps. It's as good as land destruction, in my opinion. I love that card. Can we give Sinkhole a shout out? Love that card. Well, it was one of the first. If you were here when the stream started, you'd see it. But because you super chatted, which I really appreciate, we can look at Sinkhole again. Black, like for 2 mana, destroy target land. I'm surprised they didn't lean harder into black having land destruction, since apparently they were like the masters of land destruction back then. Nikachu does not appreciate that 70% of modern Ponza cards are actually Pauper legal. Yeah, I haven't faced Ponza yet in Pauper. It'll happen one day, though. The Decree of Annihilation. Annihilation. What the hell is this? Okay, remove all artifacts, creatures, lands, graveyards, and hands from the game. And you can cycle it. When you cycle Decree of Annihilation, destroy all lands. So for a lot of mana, you basically reset the game. But for 7 mana, you'll just take care of all the lands. That's right. Kaboom. Do I have a good sound effect for this? There we go. Oh, did we talk about Obliterate? All these big red mana cards that blows everything up. We might as well talk about Obliterate. Red, 6 generic. Obliterate can't be countered. Does that scare you, control players? Ooh. Your Force of Will has no power here. Destroy all artifacts, creatures, and lands. They can't be regenerated. Love. Oh, we got Love Voodoo with the super chat. Thank you so much. Army Ants. You guys are tap, sack a land, destroy target land. I never even heard of this card. This is a wild card. Summon the Ants. It's a bit flavorful too, because you could. It's basically, you know, what's it called? They're making anthills everywhere. Nicholas with the super chat. Just came in. Did you review Plow Under and Richardson Port? We did. You know what? We didn't talk enough about. Well, here, Plow Under. Has anyone ever gotten their lands siphoned to nothing? But were these in the same set? Sorry, in the same standard? Plow Under and Richardson Port? I think they were. Yeah, this was Urza's Destiny. So between Urza's Destiny and Richardson Port, which was in Mask's block after Richardson Port, that was a hell of a land destruction set at the time. But they also had a lot of artifact mana at the time. Yeah, Richardson Port, definitely a sort of soft land destruction card. We've got Ratchets. Thanks so much for the super chat. Fall of the Thran. Pretty forgiving plus good flavor. Fall of the Thran. Oh, really? White, 5 generic. They just reprinted Armageddon at a higher casting cost. Destroy all the lands. Then Chapter 2. Each player returns 2 land cards from their graveyard to the battlefield. Oh, that's a bit lame. That's not in the spirit of Ponza at all. But it's very, yeah, it's very flavorful, and it's very, very fair. Very, very fair. Thank you very much for the super chat. Someone mentioned Acid Rain. You know what's weird? This one is on the reserve list, but Boil, Flash Fires, all the other ones, they're not on the reserve list. But the blue one is on the reserve list, so they can't reprint this thing over and over again. That's not fair. That's not fair in my opinion. Boom slash bust. Yeah, this thing actually still sees play today. And now this card sees good play with, what's the land that we talked about earlier? I hate when they do this. Can we rotate this, please? There we go. Oh, hold on. Destroy target land you control and target land you don't control. Destroy all lands. Oh, actually, this also sees play with artifact destruction. Sorry, not indestructible lands. So if you play, for example, any Darksteel Citadel or something like that, you try to destroy that land. It won't blow up, but you blow up your opponent's land. This is actually still seeing play today. You talk about Dwarven Miner. Nope. We're not talking about Dwarven Miner. Never heard of Dwarven Miner. What is this? This looks like a photo on some dating website. Okay, red 1 generic for a 1/2, red 2 generic, destroy, tap, destroy target non-basic land. Morning, did that see play? It did. It was part of the world. That was a world championship card, people. World championships. I think that's Ben Rubin's signature. Liquid metal coating plus any artifact destruction. Very good point. Also, thank you so much for the super chat. What are we going to give you? Oops, I spelt it twice. So if you have like a Karn the Great Creator, if you have a Mycosynth Lattice out, that, oh no, that's not true. Hold on. Target permanent becomes an artifact in addition to its other types until end of turn. Oh yeah, that's true. Okay. Yes. If you've got... No, hold on. Any artifact destruction? Yes. Okay, that works. Yes, any artifact destruction. I was thinking too much of the Karn the Great Creator thing. So anyway, if you have liquid metal coating, or even Mycosynth Lattice and use any land destruction, any regular land destruction like... Shattering Spree, I think, is land destruction, right? Oh, the land destruction in the world. I can't think of any. Alright, Shattering Spree. It works! That story holds up. Yeah, you will blow up all the lands. Scorched Earth. I love it when you guys spam the chat with all these different cards. It's good for the algorithm. Red X. Choose and discard X land cards. Destroy X target lands. Good God. Good absolutely God. Sowing Salts from a dog. Red 2 generic. Remove target non-basic land from the game. Oh, we had this one already. We looked at this one. Yeah. And then there's the more evolved version. Decimate. That sounds familiar. Destroy target, artifact, target creature, target enchantment, and target land. This sees like no play. Oh, it's old too. It's from like Odyssey. Destroy target artifact, target creature, target enchantment, and target land. This is pretty good. This actually looks really playable, like right now in like modern. Destroy target artifact, target creature, target enchantment, and target land. And it sees like no play. I would have to put that in my red-green Ponza deck. All it needs left is to destroy Planeswalkers, but it's an old card from Odyssey, so I guess, you know, they didn't have Planeswalkers back then. Oh, Smallpox! I'll allow it. Yeah, each player loses 1 life, discards a card, sacrifices a creature, then sacrifices a land. And because the Smallpox costs 2 mana, you might lose the first land that you put on the battlefield. So if you were on the draw, just played land go, it was over. I guess we can count upheaval. Pseudo land destruction, return all permanents to their owner's hands. We've got Gayer can't leave today without Orcish Settlers. Orcish Settlers. The 1/1 sacrifice Orcish. Okay, you have to pay XX red, tap, sacrifice Orcish Settlers, destroy X target lands. Never heard of it. But it was a World Championship card! Again. By, well, someone else. I don't think that's Ben Rubin. Back then, those creatures that blew up lands, that was a real thing. Ice Quake? What is this? Oh, here comes the black land destruction from Ice Age. Destroy target land. If that land is a snow-covered land, Ice Quake deals 1 damage to the land's controller. Ha! Price of Glory. Whenever a player taps a land for mana during another player's turn, destroy that land. Poof! Good God! You get 1 more shot out of your lands, and then they're gone. They're just gone. Oh, we got so many more super chats. Oh, thank you so much, guys, for your super chats. Decimate is somewhat of an EDH staple. It actually looks good enough for Modern. It looks really good. And Gardner, thank you so much for your super chat. Although he didn't say anything. You're allowed to make a message with your super chats. I'm sure Gardner tried to. Okay, here it is, Gardner. You're supposed to do them together. I could miss your super chat. Kama. So who we got? Kamal Fists of Croza. Plus Goblin Sharpshooter. Hold on, is these 2 separate cards? Okay, so target land becomes a 1/1 creature until end of turn. It's still a land. Oh, and then you're going to shoot it down. Oh, nice! That's a nice one. Goblin Sharpshooter doesn't untap during your untap step. Whenever a creature dies, untap Goblin Sharpshooter and it deals 1 damage to target creature or player. Turn your land into a 1/1 creature. Snipe it down with the Sharpshooter. Actually, this is not a very clever Sharpshooter. So what the whole idea is just going to bonk the guy on the head. You know, sometimes we forget the most simple ones. Yeah, Fulminator Mage. Someone in the comment section is like, you never mentioned Fulminator Mage. Yeah, this actually still sees play today, especially in living end decks. Sacrifice Fulminator Mage, destroy target non-basic land. Can be played in the red decks, can be played in the black decks. Absolutely. We've got love! Does Mana Breach count? Does it do something to the lands? If it does, then yes, I'm going to say that it counts. Whenever a player plays a spell, that player returns a land he or she controls to its owner's hand. I'll allow it. It messes with the mana. I'm going to allow it. Shivan. Oh, Decimate is not modern legal? Hold on, I gotta... Well, I'll be damned. Oh, they printed this in all these commander sets. You're right. Thanks so much, Sophie. Or Sophia. Thank you so much. Before I try to play illegal cards in Modern. What was I gonna like? Shivan Harvest. What are Shivan? Let me know in the comment section for all of you on the replay. I don't even know what a Shivan is. They got Shivan Dragons. Okay, Shivan Harvest. Red 1 generic. Enchantment. Pay a red and 1 generic. Sacrifice a creature. Destroy target non-basic land. If you got a lot of tokens, hey, you can sack all those. You know you can do that. Liliana the Veil? Okay, sort of. You know, this is a loose one, A-Dog. This is pretty loose. Separate all permanents target player controls into 2 piles. That player sacrifices all permanents in the pile of their choice. They may not sacrifice their lands. I guess if you put half lands, I guess it would work that way. That would force them. Zip! Zip, thank you so much for the super chat. Did we talk about Numot, the Devastator? Can destroy lands and even be your commander. Nope. Numot the Devastator. Is this how Numot the Nummy got his name? Flying. Whenever Numot the Devastator deals combat damage to a player, you may pay 2 and 1 red. If you do, destroy up to 2 target lands. Blow them up. So let me guess. When you reveal Numot the Devastator as your commander, like the entire table just groans, like, ah. Why do you make this one? Why didn't they ban this card? Why destroy up to 2? Like, why haven't they banned this one? This is perfectly legal in Commander. It's not banned at all. Obsidian Fireheart. Thank you so much for the super chat. I never heard of this. Red, 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 1. What is that mana symbol? This is from Zendikar? Okay. 4/4. Red, red, 1. Put a blaze counter on target land without a blaze counter on it. For as long as that land has a blaze counter on it, it has at the beginning of your upkeep. This land deals 1 damage to you. The land is still on the battlefield. This doesn't qualify. But thank you very much for the super chat. Love your new soundtrack. Makes me want to play old Pokemon games so badly. Well, this is not really a soundtrack. This is just more of a soundboard. I'm still working on it. Thank you very much. I appreciate the constructive commentary. Or it's not constructive. I appreciate the compliment. Okay, looks like we have a really hard way to tremble plus crack the earth. Is this like the most... Each player sacrifices a land. Okay, that's enough. Yeah, some of you try to squeeze in more than 1 card at the same time. I see you. I gotta spread the love around to other people, like Gustavo with Cataclysm. Oh, both of these do something very similar. Okay, so white has land destruction in the form of like... So each player chooses from among the perms he or she controls an artifact, creature, an enchantment, and a land, then sacrifices the rest. You know, today's show is basically how to get banned from your commander play group. And we also have Cataclysmic Gearhulk. I really like this card. I think this is a very playable card. Vigilance. When the Gearhulk enters the battlefield, each player chooses an artifact, creature, an enchantment, and planeswalker from... Oh no, does it choose lands? Choose an artifact, creature... Oh, this one... This one chooses lands? Artifact, creature, enchantment, and a land. Oh, the Gearhulk doesn't choose lands? I thought the Gearhulk chose lands. Okay, that's whatever. Cataclysm it is. Cataclysm it is. Did we mention Ravages of War? No, we didn't. The Armageddon brother. Or sister. Destroy all lands. From Portal, 3 Kingdoms. Destroy all lands. You see, you had to be born with your lands destroyed. Then you'd be fine with it. Francis C. with the super chat. Natural affinity with any creature board wipe. What is that? Natural affinity. Until end of turn, all lands become 2/2 creatures that are still lands. Got it. And then just blow them all up. Break the ice. Thank you so much, Dean. This is where they brought Sinkhole back. Black, destroy target land that is snow or could produce colorless. I'm talking to you, Tron lands. They're also talking to you, Strep Mine. And it looks like Gardner is still trying to figure out how to make the super chats work. You're allowed to you write something with it, you know. That's how it works. Mind Funeral. You're really stretching your dollar there, Garner. All right, we got Mind Funeral. Black, blue, 1 generic. Target opponent reveals cards from the top of their library until 4 land cards are revealed. That player puts all cards revealed this way into his or her graveyard. It's not land destruction. What are you talking about? But maybe Garner just likes Mind Funeral. I guess it's land destruction from the deck into the library. We've got Volcanic Awakening from Stub Finger. Volcanic Awakening. Volcanic Awakening. Red, 4 generic. Destroy target land. Storm? Storm? What the hell? They put Storm on anything. It's from Time Spiral. Good God. They have cards like Dragon Storm, you know? Where it's like, because the thing is, you can just ritual into this and blow up a ton of lands. God, this is actually dangerous. You just ritual, Volcanic Awakening, and that destroy all my lands. I guess it's just, I guess if you're on a storm type of deck, you don't want to blow up the lands. You just want to blow up your opponent. But still, that is a feel bad. God, then nothing's gonna make someone feel bad more than this card. Land Destruction and Storm, the casual player's most hated card of all time. Yeah, you get it's they go together like peanut butter and jelly. There to give people strokes and aneurysms. We got Andrew Penry. I know you talked about liquid metal coating, but liquid metal coating plus Splinter destroys lands in the library. Hope you aren't playing mono. Splinter? I don't even know what Splinter is. Remove target artifact from the game. Search its controller's graveyard, hand, and library for all cards. Oh, so this is like a crumble to dust the hard way. Yeah, remove all of them from the game, then that player shuffles his or her library. Land destruction the hard way. Cryomonoxide. Thank you so much for the super chat. Best blue hate ever choke. Yep, we got that one. But just for you, good look at it again. Islands don't untap during the controller's untap step. And it was actually played in a World Championship deck. That's a World Championship card. Active Volcano. You know, you guys are letting me know so many cards that I didn't even know existed. Choose one. Destroy target blue permanent or return target island to its owner's hand. It's only one red. Destroy target blue permanent or return target island. But it's not quite colorless or anything like that. Oh, one more. Tsunami. Is that a real card? Destroy all islands. Of course, these exist. Green, like red and green, can have mass island destruction, but blue having mass island destruction, that's not allowed. That's too unfair. That's too busted. All right. That's it for Coffee and MTG today. Thank you so much for joining me. I really appreciate it. We do this Monday to Friday, 8 o'clock a.m. Central Standard Time. So if you want to be part of the action, that's when we do this. Thank you so much for all the support. Everyone who's becoming a member and all the super chats makes the show what it is. Lets me know that you appreciate it. We got to keep doing this every single weekday. But as usual, oh, even Dean's squeezing some super chats in. Obliterate is my favorite with Koth the Hammer. Yeah, we went through Obliterate. And with Koth... Oh, you mean obliterating the board with Koth the Hammer? Hold on. How does that work? As we look at Koth the Hammer, I got to remind you that I thank you guys so much for being here today, because if it wasn't for all of you, there would be no stream. You guys make the stream. Hell, I didn't even know half the cards on this list, thanks to all you guys. So, what is this? Koth the Hammer. Red, 2 generic, untap target mountain, becomes a 4/4 red elemental creature. Wait, and then you just blow up the lands, I think. Obliterate is my favorite with Koth. Oh, you play Koth the Hammer. And then you play Koth the Hammer, and then I guess you eventually blow up the board and you get to keep your Hoth, is what I am getting at, or what I am understanding here. Beautiful. All right. Thank you so much for joining me. You guys are the show. So as usual, keep brewing up those coffees, and we will keep brewing up the magic. Take care of yourselves, and I will see you